Today on WGTV, we are very glad to have with us this season from The Bachelorette's Brendan. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me. I
Yes,
appreciate it appreciate you for making this happen.
absolutely. Well, good morning, Canada. How is
Yeah,
Canada for you?
Yeah, Canada's great. It's actually been incredible weather here. We've been very lucky, but it's fall's around the corner too. So this summer's flown by for sure.
Oh, really? What is the weather usually like in Canada?
Well, if I'm going off the American metric system, I mean we're in like right now probably like 75s to 80s,
Oh, okay.
but like we'll get in the high 90s as well. So I'm just so used to now with all my buddies in the States, I've converted over to
Okay. Well,
Fahrenheit.
exactly. I was going to say, when you say buddies in the States, would you ever consider moving to the United States here in America? Because I'm sure you get that question like all the time. Is it
Yeah.
an option for you? How do you feel
Yeah,
about
no, for
that?
sure. Yeah, I mean, I've traveled so much, like growing up with throughout just traveling the world, the States, Europe, and obviously meeting a bunch of new guys from the show. I just we're in a group chat every day, and everyone's like, Brennan, you need to get to San Diego, you need to get to Nashville. And I've lived in the States before for school for a little bit. So yeah, I love the States. I think it would be definitely something new, definitely a bucket list item. But home is still here in Canada for the meantime.
Now I got to ask you, where would you go in the United States? What state? Where are you going? California or Florida? Would you ever consider Florida? Florida's pretty cool too. There's lots of places: Tennessee, Texas, a lot.
Yeah, so I lived in Texas. It's really hot there. It's a whole different world
Oh,
over there. But I mean, I have buddies in Florida. I everybody wants me to come visit them, and they're trying to suck me in, I think. But honestly, I've been to so many different places within the United States. I love Nashville so much.
oh, Nashville. Yes.
Just yeah, it's just like there's a little piece of Nashville in my heart. It's just fun. It's very touristy, I feel. So you could meet so many different people from the States, from Canada as well. A lot of parties going on there, but I love the district there with all the bars and bar hopping, and the Southern hospitality is huge too. So
You,
it's nice to see.
yes, you seem like you would fit that lifestyle. Like it looks like it matches you. That's like a good choice. I see that happening. I see that happening. We'll
Yeah,
see,
yeah. A lot
huh?
of people are like, yeah, you look like a Nashville guy. But honestly, I would love to have a place in the States somewhere, and then obviously come back home and see
Of
family
course.
here.
Of
You
course.
always, home is where the heart is. So that's something that it's always going to be in my back pocket. But I would love to have different places, or even just bounce around. Like I don't need to settle in anywhere. Just bounce around and have my good
Yeah,
buddies
that's
around.
right. That sounds like a good idea. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So tell us, so what has your life been like after The Bachelorette now? What has it been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy. It's sort of adjusting back to reality and spending time with my parents, and catching up with old friends. I have a couple of reunions coming up too. So I've missed everyone back home. I know everyone's missed me, and yeah, just catching up. I think the only thing that's changed is really just getting recognized when you go out, and kind of giving the time of day to all the fans of Bachelor Nation, because it is such a big important part of the show, and why it's so successful is because of the fans. So you don't really, I mean, personally for myself, I didn't realize the magnitude of the show, or how crazy the fans were. So when you do go out, like it's every day basically. People come up to me, and I try to always divert the conversation from the show, and I ask about them and how they're doing. But
Yeah.
I'm always open to meet people, and have a couple of drinks with them. A lot of people want to buy you drinks, and free drinks. I'll take it any day, right? So it's been cool. It's been cool meeting people, and everyone, whenever they bump into me, they have so many questions. But yeah, for the most part, it's just really just getting recognized now when you go out.
That's awesome. And what is your dating life like now at this point? Like we said, you just came off of a show looking for love. Like, are you currently still looking again? Are you giving it some space? Is it something you still want? You know?
Yeah, good. That's a really good question. Just sort of taking time for myself. Sort of, I still feel like I need to catch up on sleep, even though we finished filming a little while ago. But yeah, just I'm just kind of taking time for myself, and really just having some fun right now at this point. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I definitely, I'm getting to that age right now, and part of my life where I do want to make sure everything's set in stone for me moving forward, and make sure, my biggest thing is get hired in the fire department full time.
Oh, wow.
That's my biggest, goal and passion right now. But I'm sure going out on dates is going to be a thing that's going to be a continuous thing moving forward. But right now, just sort of taking a step back, and kind of just enjoy the single life a bit, and enjoy time with friends and family.
That's right. So what made you decide to go on the show then? And what was that whole process like for you? Like, how did you end up on the show?
Crazy question. Yeah. I was the only single guy in my friend group, and everyone, which is my brother and all his buddies, are we play hockey Thursday nights, and they even said they're like, if anyone could do this show, it would be you that can kind of put up with all the craziness and the aftermath of the show. And it is 2021. If you could find love on social media, you can probably find love on a dating shows, on a reality television show. So yeah, I was the only single guy in the friend group. I started whenever I wanted to hang out with my friends or my brother. They're busy now. They got their girlfriends. They're doing double dates, and I'm
Oh,
just sort of
wow.
left out of the picture, right? So I applied, and honestly, being Canadian, I had no expectations to even get on the show. I just applied, did my audition video and said, let's hope for the best. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to, try to be someone who I'm not. And here I am now. It's a whirlwind. It was very surreal. So yeah, being a Canadian, it's different. You don't expect to be on a television show in the United States. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been cool. But yeah, I was just trying to give it a shot and try to go on double dates with my friends, but it didn't work out for me. So
Yeah. Well, tell me, what is the dating life in Canada like for you? Like, is there a lot of options? I mean, do you have to go to, like we said, like an app, a dating app? You went on the show. Like, is there options? What is that like for you in Canada?
yeah, I'm definitely not on any dating apps. Like I used to be on dating apps, last year. But I feel like everyone just wants to be pen pals, especially during the pandemic. It wasn't, I'm more of an old soul. I like meeting people in person, and I'm a
Yes.
talker, right? So yeah, dating apps aren't for me. You can meet people through Instagram. It's kind of an app where you can connect with a lot of people. But living in a city like Toronto, it's a very big city. A lot of great people here. But the thing is, it's more so just kind of taking time and breathing for myself and really just focusing on me. I think that's the biggest thing, focusing on me and catching up with friends and family. There are so many options here, no doubt. But, I think after the show too, it could be a little overwhelming with
Yeah.
a little bit of attention, but you sort of just have to block that out. And, I'm sure when the right person comes around, it's you'll sort of know. And I feel like if you look for that, relationship and love, it's really, it doesn't really come to you, you know what I mean? But if you're kind of step back a little bit and you're sort of just enjoying life, you may meet someone that kind of blows you away, and you never know, right? So
That's true. I agree with that. No one wants to settle down. That's like first world problems, I think. Do you come across
for
the same
sure.
thing? Like, is that the same for you as well? I mean,
Yeah, I think it's this generation too. I mean, you kind of look, and there's not too many, there's people still getting married nowadays too, but I feel like it's a society where it is kind of like a hookup culture now, and they try to keep it simple.
yeah.
But I've been in 3 long-term relationships. I feel like I never really experienced the whole single life. So now I've been single for 2 years. I really do want to just sort of take that mental break, because I am very independent, and once you start living on your own, you realize it's nice to just wake up and be by yourself and have a coffee, things
Of
like that.
course.
But I think if you're just straight up and honest, I've been through scenarios where I'm like, you know what, I just want to have some fun, and I'm not looking for something serious. I think if you voice your opinion of where you are at, which stage of life, and if you're totally honest with the other person of what you want, you can have some fun, and with almost no strings attached. But yeah, I feel like this culture is moving towards more of the, no strings attached sort of side of
Hmm.
things rather than marriage. But I know one day, I'm going to want a family. I'm going to want a wife. So that's something. It's just time will tell. I'm turning 27 in November. I have a lot of life left to live, and like I said, you never know who's going to come around.
Yeah, that's right. And more about the like Bachelor franchise. Are you going to go on Bachelor in Paradise then? Is that like the next step for you, or is that not something you're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, if the opportunity comes up, I'm definitely going to, I would jump on it for sure, no doubt. I believe Paradise would be more of my, it would be more of my vibe. Obviously, there's more options to choose from, right? There's more drama. I tend to try to stay away from the drama, but just kind of, seeing how Paradise works from past seasons, I feel like I would fit in really, really well there. And if the opportunity comes up, I'll definitely jump on it. And you never know, once you're part of the Bachelor Nation family, you'll have some opportunities after. And if it comes up, I'll be the first one to jump on it.
Yeah, and what was your experience like just overall, like just being on the show then and meeting Katie and just your whole experience from your
But
perspective?
meeting Katie, I remember it was night one, and we went through a little bit of a quarantine, right, just for COVID protocol, and we're just so anxious to get out there, and it's still like kind of a blur because I blacked out for sure. I just didn't really know what was going on. I was so nervous. I was in a limo. I had a little bit of champagne. I was like, I need to guzzle some champagne, and um, I remember pulling up, and you can see Katie like in her coral dress there, and because the door opened and they were telling us what to do, like, hey guys, step out and just proceed towards Katie, and you kind of like peek at her, and you're just so nervous. But yeah, just she glows, she lights up the room. She was really the rock of the house to keep us all in line as well. That's one thing I've told people, that everyone sees the bromance and the really great behavior from all the guys. We had our drama, but everyone respected each other so much, and that's not just us being good guys. I feel like Katie really instilled that into the house, and she was the rock of the house, kept us all together. So Katie's a great woman. She, all I want for her is to be happy, and I'm going to be a friend for a lifetime and always have her back.
As everybody's talking about Greg with the whole gaslighting situation, what's your perspective on that? How do you feel like, how do you feel he was taken?
Yeah, it's a good question. Number one thing for me, I since I wasn't there, and I know how production works. Like we only see such a little bit of you're filming 24 hours a day, and you only see an hour episode technically, right? Hour and a little bit. So I support Katie, and I support Greg in different ways, and I'll give you that explanation. Number one, with if I put myself in Katie's shoes for her watching that back, obviously the emotions, the hurt, it's a terrible breakup, and people have, if you put in perspective, people have gone through those situations in life, so many hundreds of thousands of people, but it's not on a national television show. So when you see it, it makes it much worse because the whole world gets to judge that breakup. So I just, first and foremost, we not myself but all the guys, we all have Katie's back, and it's an emotional ride for her, and we just want her to be okay, mentally and emotionally, after watching that for herself. And then, as for Greg, the internet's a dark place. And after the show, we know you can either be loved, you can be hated, or you can be kind of balanced. And, a guy like Greg, I think he's a great guy. He's one of our brothers from the house. That doesn't change, that doesn't take away from his actions. And how he went about the whole breakup situation. But we do support Greg in a way where he is getting a lot of hate on the internet, and just a simple text to Greg saying, man, we love you. This could really hurt somebody mentally and emotionally, and it could drive a lot of contestants on a very dark path in life. So we support Greg, just with all the hate he's getting on the internet. So we have to support him in that way. But for Katie, we have her back first and foremost. We think she deserves the world, and so it's a weird scenario. We support them both, but in different ways. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course. And then, I wanted to ask you, so if you were like given the chance to go on like the next season, like Michelle's season that she's up
Right.
next, would you go? Or like if they asked you back, even like to go back, I don't know, to be even the Bachelor, like would you do any of those options, or no? Is it something that you would consider?
I mean, I definitely, I probably wouldn't go on Michelle's season because I couldn't do back to back. I couldn't do back to back seasons. It wouldn't look it would look awful. But I think Michelle's great. Watching her season, I think she's incredible, and she'll definitely find love. I'm hoping she meets a great guy. To be the next Bachelor, it's such a crazy question, but there's so many guys, not just from our season, but like there's so many guys part of Bachelor Nation that are absolutely incredible, and I can never put myself in that category, because you can get a Bachelor from past seasons, 2, 3, 4 seasons ago. You never know.
Yeah.
But I don't put myself in that category at all. But obviously, I mean, if they're like, Brendan, you want to be the Bachelor, and there's 30 beautiful women in front of you, obviously I would say yes. Like that's a given, right? But yeah, there's so many guys. I mean, I couldn't even be a contender for that. I don't think so. I can't put myself in that category.
That's crazy. Yeah. If you were to like give a rose right now to any girl, like maybe it could be a celebrity, anybody, is there anybody that you're crushing on currently? Like we said, just kind of even, you could hand out a rose. Like, is there anybody in perspective? Like,
It's a good question. That's a really good question.
If you don't have anybody, you don't have to say, but like, is there anybody you have in mind or you would give a rose to?
That's such a good question. It's funny. I've never had a celebrity crush. I mean, like there's so many beautiful women out there, and any celebrity crush. I mean,
I feel like I put you on the spot. That's why I'm like, it's a hard question. You don't have to answer.
I don't know. I mean, like,
I'm
listen,
just
like,
saying,
you look at like Selena Gomez, like she's stunning. I've always liked her.
Okay.
Rihanna for sure.
Okay.
There was like, if not like celebrity, but like there was a Netflix show called, I think it's The Circle, and there was a girl in there. Her name's Randy. She has tattoos and stuff too. Hope she doesn't see this. But,
and if she does, but wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, no. That's a good point. It's a good point. But no, she's very gorgeous, and like she's fun, and she's my vibe, I feel like. But yeah, her name's Randy. She's from The Circle. She's very, very pretty.
Okay.
But there's so many, like there's so many people that you see, on television or in the news outlets, and it's not even like it could be a crush. It's not like high school crush, but it's like, okay, I'm interested. Like I would definitely want to buy her a drink at a bar, like one of those things. You know what I mean?
I'm glad I got an answer from you though, because some people are like, oh no, I can't say. All right, good answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you.
I'm
trying to open up. Trying to open up.
And then tell me, because like we got a lot of questions online. Everybody wants to know, what are you physically attracted to? Or do you have like a type, anything like that? That's like the number one question we got. Everyone's like, oh my gosh. So,
yeah. You know what? I really don't have a type. I've dated. I've had 3 long-term relationships. They've all had different backgrounds. And trying to think. 2 were brunette, 1 was blonde. If on paper, if you give me a like a look, like if you just stand someone in front of me, I'd be like, listen, I love the blonde hair. Like, I mean, I'm like the tan blonde hair. Like it's sort of like how my hair goes super blonde in summer. When I'm out in the sun and stuff too. But yeah, just like light eyes and someone who's blonde. That's like the typical stereotypical, right? But I really don't have a type because, I've been on dates with probably more brunettes or and even black haired women than blondes. So I it's honestly, it's an energy thing for me. Like someone could be beautiful, but then if their personality doesn't align with mine, or just like their little, if they don't have manners at the table when we go out, or little things, that kind of turns me off from the way they look. So for me, it's really, you want someone beautiful and someone who has a beautiful smile and all this stuff too. But at the same time, you want like their energy and their morals to be good. And it really comes with parenting too. You want to know they come from like, a good family, good parents, and just they were raised right. So just little things like that. I think it's just the energy would probably be the biggest attraction, and the personality, but you also, that makes them even more beautiful. Like if you get someone that's good looking, it's like, hey, if they're really, really cool, that makes them 10 times, more gorgeous. So I don't really have a type, guys, but I'm trying to give you,
That's
that,
I like that, because like we said, today's society, I think, is a little bit more so shallow on looks and just like, Instagram pictures and whatever. I like that perspective. Like we said, it's the energy of the person too, and the respect. I like that.
1,000%.
I agree with that 100%.
Good. Thank you.
I do agree with that, because I was like, okay, you seem like a good guy in general too, because like we said, I like that people get to learn about you, and it's not just like, okay, we see a face, let's see who you are. So that's cool. I like that you're saying that. Thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And then, okay, watch, we're going to talk shallow now. No. Everybody was asking on your Instagram about your skincare. This is self-care. And I agree. Your face is like glowing. I don't know if it's the Canada sun. What is it? What do you use? You have like a 3-4 step process. Seriously, can you spill? Because what you doing? Or your hair? Like,
yeah, I mean, today was an early morning. Thanks for doing this so early. But no, it's I got a 4-step routine. I use a vitamin C collagen serum, number 1. Number 2, I use the vitamin C moisturizer, and then I do this like vitamin C banana brightening eye cream under my eyes, and then I use this Glossier. I think it's for women, but like it gives me a glow. It's called like Future Dew. It's like Future Dew. It's called, and like it just goes on. It just gives you this glow. And skincare is a huge thing. I mean, like we're only young once. And obviously the SPF, you need the sunscreen on you when you go out, and just in your moisturizer as well. But you're only young once, and skin's an important part of our body, you know what I mean? And I just, if I can hold on to my youth for as long as possible, I'm going to do my best to do that. So, it's,
what do you use? Like, what's the vitamin C called? I'm so interested in this. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
What do you use? Like, what brand? And then what SPF do you use? And I'm sure people are curious too, because it works. Look at your face. It works.
Thank you. Olin Henriksen.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Henriksen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just get the stuff online. It's actually, I get this like kit. It's like it's a 3-in-1, and you save like $100 when you get the whole value pack together. So I just get that. I don't switch stuff too often. I don't switch it up. I do use like Drunk Elephant. I use retinoid cream at nighttime sometimes, Sunday Rally. I do mix and match, but it depends on like, hey, if I was in the sun all day today, I'm not going to use this. If I'm not going to be in the sun tomorrow, I'm going to use this specific cream. So it's sort of like it's kind of a science when it comes to it too. And I remember during our season, I got a lot of guys. My roommate was James, Boxman, and love him to death. And Aaron would come to my room as well, to our room, and we'd have a couple drinks before, like cocktail parties. And the guys were just like, man, like my skin's so dry here. And I was like, guys, like, just let me come show you some stuff. So like I kind of broke down the routine for them. So James actually bought the same stuff as me, and he sent me pictures like, hey, I just bought this, and he loves the stuff. So I got James on it. I got quite a few guys on moisturizing and doing the eye cream as well too. So it's a funny little joke we had in the house saying like I'm like a Sephora, but I'm like, well, but like they use my stuff. They use my stuff too. So you can't hate on me.
No way. Did you say what SPF you use? I'm so serious about this. Did you SPF or no?
It's kind of like it's like a medicated brand from a doctor, just because it's like a dermatology thing. Okay. I don't even know the brand, but honestly, any moisture, you could just get a moisturizer SPF, and people will they'll love it regardless, because it is just sunscreen. So I don't really care what brand I use for that, but the vitamin C stuff and the serums, like you gotta do your due diligence and look at the reviews and do all that stuff too. So yeah.
That's awesome. Is it men's products, or is it like the one that...
It's not, no, it's definitely, it's for anyone. It really is. It's
for everyone. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. You need to do like a YouTube video, like
I'm gonna do it.
I hope you do.
I'm getting it all the time. I'm definitely going to be doing a tutorial probably on Instagram. I'm just going to like show the products I use and just,
okay, good.
That's it. I'll do it for you guys for sure.
Okay, good. I hate to say, this is my favorite question I asked you for the day. Yeah. This is like awesome. And everybody wants to know. And then I wanted to ask you, your tattoos. We got a lot of questions for that too. A lot of people
tattoos. I'll go through them with you. So,
okay, wait, first question. Is it true? Are these Harry Styles type of tattoos that everybody's asking, or no? Is it coincidence?
I had these. I mean, I don't even know how many years ago I got these, but I asked for 2 sparrows, and the girl who did my tattoos, she would just have a book of stuff too. She never charged me per hour. She just charged me per piece. Oh, awesome. And I got these out. I was super bored. I was actually I was finishing up my elbow at the time, and I'm just like, let's just get. I was like, I want birds on my chest. I was like, what kind of birds do you have? There was so many different ones. But for me, I was always wanted meaning behind stuff. So I said, I like sparrows because I knew they always, no matter where they went, they always returned home. It's like one of those things. And for me, I'm always on the go and I travel so much, but like I always find my way home. It's one of those things. So that's the reason behind sparrows. But I didn't even realize they're the same as, or very similar to Harry Styles. But hey, big fan of him. So yeah, he's a cool guy.
That's what, and I like that meaning behind that. I like that meaning behind that because it's deeper than just 2 sparrows. Like that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. The sparrows always find their way home, and I think that's why like a lot of like sailors had these tattoos as well, because they always found their way home. Like it's a weird. I like stories behind things, right? So
that's awesome. I like that. Yeah, and everything else. You want to share what else?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, my birth date, just in case I forget my ID when I go to the liquor store.
There you go.
You know, it's just like, that's a joke I always do, because everyone always says you're gonna forget your year that you're born. So, but anyways, yeah. So I have like a dove and roses here with my mom, my dad, my sister, and brother's birth dates, just to kind of represent my family here.
That's nice.
And then I do have a map of Europe. I mean, it's probably a better way here.
Oh, wow.
It's like the Baltic Sea, Poland, Prague. So my mom's from Poland, my dad's from Czech Republic. Prague's like one of my favorite places in the world to go to. And then it's
Oh,
basically the
wow.
whole Mediterranean Sea here. Um, I got some, they're like, what do you call it? Hibiscus. I think they're hibiscus. They're like beachy, like Hawaiian flowers. I'm just like, I'm a beach boy. So like, I love the look of these flowers. They're one of my favorites. Feather. I forgot what I forgot what this might just be something I just got here. I was probably bored. My quote says, the only limitations one has are the ones they place on themselves. So you can do anything you want. The only person stopping you is yourself. That was my very first tattoo.
Hmm.
The arrow is pointing in the forward direction, always move forward, never go back. Sort of one of those things. The elbow, obviously it's a Mandela, but most painful shading I've ever had. And that just kind of filled in my elbow, but it's a very like unique piece that we designed together.
Wow. Why did that
I have
hurt?
an angel.
Why was that painful? Was it because it was the elbow
The,
or like
the
what? The intensity
yeah,
of it?
like the lining didn't hurt, but I remember I was probably working on like 3 hours sleep, and I went in. I was like, can we just finish this? And the shading just on the bone and just the way I was like laying down, it was super, super awkward. Um, this was my first tattoo. It's an angel wing. It's for my buddy who passed away, and it's an angel wing. That was my first one because I wanted to build my tattoos around my whole form around this tattoo.
Yeah.
If I remember that properly, I think so. So I got that one. Um, I got this quote here. It says, "Through the unknown, we'll find the meaning. Trust your journey." And it's funny because like when Katie
Mm.
and I we were sitting down and we were sitting down and we were going through my tattoos, and because I was wearing a short sleeve shirt underneath my blazer, and Katie's like, she was looking at them. So it's weird because like Bachelor franchise, like roses. So I have
Yes,
roses,
yes. I
but
thought
then
that what I
like
was gonna say, but
yeah. And then the quote says like trust your journey, and like the journey is like the Bachelor franchise, like typical quote. And
yes.
I've had these for so long. So that was kind of a cool thing. It was like what a coincidence that was. And then I have like the evil eye here.
Oh,
You guys can see it.
yes.
Protect, the evil eye protects you. So yeah, I got some cool things. I definitely want a bunch more. I do want to get my other arm done and my leg as well. I don't know if the leg thing I'm still up in the air about, but definitely like my other arm for sure. So
Oh, wow. And you have ideas for your other arms? Right. And here you like you have any
yeah,
ideas?
I want to do it's a toss up. I might just get a whole bunch of different like things kind of not like fully enclosed and shaded in, just kind of patchwork everywhere too. I like the look of that. But I also wanted to get some music legends, like their portraits
Hmm.
on my arms too. I wanted to get like Jimi Hendrix. I wanted to get Elvis, Otis Redding, like classic music
Oh,
gods
wow.
that I love too. So I wanted to get their portraits, but I'm still if I'm not for sure 100%, I'm definitely gonna just hold off. I'm not in a rush. I have, some people are like, this is enough. My dad's like, it's enough. My grandfather's like, that's it. But that's what he said on my first tattoo. He was like, my dad's like, hey, that's enough. And then I got another one. He's like, that's enough. And I kept going and going. So now you can't stop me. I don't think at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah. What you've got though is amazing tattoos, and I love every meaning behind them. They're really
Thank
amazing.
you. Yeah. No, yeah. You always want to
Yeah.
have meaning. Like even the next ones I get, like they'll probably won't have meaning at this point, but I wanted like for this arm, I just wanted to be like family and like stuff that means a lot to me. So
That's awesome. Well, can you tell us because of what I'm seeing from you? Like we said, like I'm trying to vibe you out. You seem like you're a very depthful person. Is that something like we don't know about you, or do you think like overall you're just kind of like a depthful person, or like deep, or you're very smart too?
yeah,
On top of that, like what type of person would you say you are?
yeah, I definitely have a lot of depth. I think just the way I was raised and the way I grew up, in a very non-traditional family, went between homes, but I still grew up with some amazing parents. I had a roof over my head, and but just like life experience, I've traveled so
Hmm.
much with my dad to countries that were just very poor and just experiencing life in a different way. So um, you know, I think it's just who you surround yourself with and how you were raised. I went to this local pub with my dad growing up. I still go there till this day, and I remember I was probably 10 when I first started going there because I'm playing hockey. We'll get some food, and my dad always said he's like when my friends walk in, he's like get up, shake their hand, look at them in the eye, and he's like my generation are the most important. Like they're gonna get you places, and you got to be close with them. He's like your friends will be your friends, but they're not gonna help you down the line in many ways. So it's important for you to like be friends with my friends. So as time goes on, I still, I go out with my dad's buddies. I call them, they're in their 50s and 60s, and I don't need my dad there. They call me, I call them. I meet with them still at the same pub. It's the same regular guys all the time. And I travel with them. I go to Vegas with these guys too. It's the craziest thing. So it's like a big, I call every single one of those guys like my uncle. I'm just like, oh, this is uncle this guy. This is uncle him. So just like, yeah, I mean, I'm just understanding the generation and how to just treat people, the especially the old school way, and not the new, texting generation of just scraping surface level. So I don't want to just sit down and just talk like how's the day at work or like what do you do. It's just like, let's talk about life, like what's going on, so I like diving in deep. I feel like I'm a vulnerable guy. I'm very in touch with my emotions, and I feel like I'm emotionally mature. So I think that's one thing. I don't think about it too much unless the conversation comes up. But I'm happy with the way I turned out. Let's put it that way.
Do you find people that are kind of along your vibe, whether it be girls, guy friends, like anything?
Yeah, that's a great question as well, because that's probably hence why I'm still single. You know what I mean? That's probably one of my big things, and that's why I look at these reality television shows. And as much as doing the Bachelorette is such like a unique and abnormal experience for all of us, because not even 1% of the world has really experienced doing something like that. But distraction free, that's where you really get to know someone. And then when you come back in the real world, you literally look at the world and you're like, this, the world should be more like no phones, no TV, and just really get to know people. And it's the same with getting to know not just Katie, but even the guys. I could get pulled to, go in a different direction with producers, but then you overhear a conversation with the guys and you're like, hey, by the way, like Hunter, I overheard you talking about your story. I would love to, like, I just want to sit down and just tell me everything. Just open up and tell me everything. And I was in the hot tub with, three guys crying like about life stories. And if you told me I'd be in a hot tub with 3 guys crying, I'd be like, there's no way that would ever happen. But just like I feel nowadays it's tough. Hence why I tend to want to date older, because of the way they think. But then they'll look at me and then they're like, oh, well, you're younger. But I'm just like, yeah, but like mentally, like I'm way different than, I feel like people my age. And it is tough right now because everyone wants to do the pen pal thing and dating apps and just text. Because if I am on a dating app, I'll message somebody and I'll do a day of texting, and then by the next day I'll say, let's FaceTime. If you don't, like, I need to see if you're real, number one. Number two, I want to see if you can hold a conversation, because over text you can sound like the smartest, most intelligent person in the world. So let's FaceTime, and then by the weekend let's plan something. Like, it's, like, I don't want to be a pen pal for the rest of the year here. So it is tough. I would say it's tough. Yeah.
Like a culture, like people are like, oh, one night only, or like, I don't want a relationship. So it's like really hard, like being a person that wants a relationship or wants marriage one day, and you can't even find it. So it's like when you can't even have a conversation with someone.
Exactly. It's tough.
And then I was thinking, like, back in the day, like we used to talk to people for, like, if you're dating, for hours, like, those hour conversations that you're just like, oh, you fall in love, and now it's gone down to like 10 minutes. You only have
when you're on the phone for like 2-3 hours and like falling asleep on the phone with that person, that was like totally high school stuff too. But I feel like relationships, a lot of people, they think they're very difficult. I think relationships are very easy if you're both at a point in your life where you have a good head on your shoulders and like you both want a relationship. You don't have any responsibilities together. You don't have a dog. You don't have bills. You don't have a house together. You're just really dating and having fun. And then if you can't get through that stage, like how would your person ever even get through like an engagement, or like when there's kids involved or anything else. So I always tend to look at, like, if you have trouble dating, like I know it's not gonna work in the long term, right? So
exactly. But I feel like do you believe like in fate, or like everything's kind of like written per se, like you said, like the journey is like written? Do you think your person is like out there and like that person is meant for you, or do you think, like we said, like in today's society you just have to like find a needle in the haystack? Like what type of perspective, how do you feel about love like that?
I mean, for me, I definitely watch rom-coms for sure. I mean, love The Notebook, love The Vow, like those movies and stuff. But you always watch those movies and like you kind of get in this setting where you're like, man, like maybe there is like a fairy tale ending to all this too. But I do believe everything does happen for a reason. In scenarios I've been through with what I've gone through in life, it's made me who I am today. So everything does happen for a reason. My person has to be out there. Like, come on, the world's
Of
huge.
course.
My person's out there for sure. But yeah, I believe everything happens for a reason. And wherever, hence my tattoo says trust your journey. You just got to trust this whole process, and it'll write, like, this is like a book, right? It'll just write itself, and hopefully there's a good ending to it.
Yeah.
Whether I find someone tomorrow, whether I find someone in my late 30s, whether I'm single for the rest of my life, I have no idea what
That's
the world
awesome.
has in store for me, right? But I'm not scared whatsoever. But I might hit an age, where I'm like, I really do want to, like, I don't want to be lonely. I want to travel with someone, and my other half, like, I might get to that point, but right now I'm trusting everything, but I'm not
That's
scared,
awesome.
because I'm really, yeah, because I am an independent, and I enjoy my downtime. Like, I love being alone too. So
Yeah.
um, I do want to find someone that is like, they're very independent too, because we both have our own lives outside of our relationships, and that's what makes us who we are, is our friends, and how we were brought up. So when two people come together, I still think it's so important that you both have your own separate lives too.
I agree with that. And then also I was going to ask you, so when you were with Katie and you went and talked to her before you left, what was that like for you? Like we said, like, do you think that was kind of like meant for part of your journey as well, then how that played out?
Yeah, I think the toughest part about that was really the last rose ceremony, where, James, Aaron, Trey, and Hunter went home. And
Hmm.
that whole week was, I missed out time at the cocktail party on the group date because Katie got sick, which was, understandable. But I was upset because I knew this was a big week. Hometowns were coming up, and I wanted time with her. And then she cut the cocktail party at the rose ceremony short. So I barely had time with her that week, and I was so stressed out. And I was prepared to go home. Like, I wrote notes for James, Aaron, and I wrote one big note for the guys, because I was mentally already in a place where I'm just going to prepare to go home. And but I still, part of me felt confident with, like, the time, even though the world didn't see the time Katie and I had too often. We had some great conversations, and, like, we shared some special moments together. So I was still pretty confident I would potentially get a rose, but it was, I was still prepared to go home. So when I got the last rose, I was an emotional wreck. Seeing, it was a roller coaster. I was shocked, but then I was so happy that I got the rose. But then all my friends were leaving too, and my roommate was leaving, and I was just like, I was a mess. And getting that last rose really meant, I truthfully thought I was probably 110% sure, like, I was gonna get that one-on-one date. There's no reason
Hmm.
why
Hmm.
I get this last rose. All these guys go home that had more time with her this week. I said, I'm getting that one-on-one. There's no doubt. So when I heard my name on the group date card, that's when I was just like, I'm gonna go home, because I respected, obviously, Katie's time. She's looking for a husband. She won't find that in me at this point, because she hasn't had the time with me. And I respect all the guys in the house to really have more time with Katie as well, because they're still there, and everyone's had a one-on-one but me. So going to Katie's room, yeah, it was just, we had a great conversation. I told her, I'm going to be, the stuff you didn't see, but I just said, I'm going to have your back, and you've taught me so much. And it was such a great conversation. Just hugged each other, and really just wished the best for her. And, she, like I said, she's going to be a friend for a lifetime for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Was that like hard for you though? Like we said, like going home at that point, like did you have like what were your thoughts at that point? Like were you emotional? Like did you feel like, oh my gosh, that just happened? Or like just what was your whole thought process when you left at that point?
Yeah, because, week by week, when you get that rose, you're still there, and you're still there, and you take it week by week and day by day, really, when you're going through that experience. So you never know when you're going home. But when I still had basically like a week there after
Mhm,
getting,
mhm.
I still had a one more week there, but knowing it's like, wow, like, I'm gonna most likely go home tonight. Um, yeah, it sucked. It was disappointing not getting that one-on-one, because you want you want someone that you care for to really see potential in you, to give you that one-on-one, which I thought I would have been great on that one-on-one date. Um, obviously not being able to say goodbye to the guys, that was the toughest thing. I said goodbye to Blake, but kind of not realizing in the moment too, when you do little things, it's like, looking back, I wish I would have been like, hey guys, like I'm gonna go talk to Katie. I might not be coming back. Like give them a big hug and tell them like, hey, I love you guys. Like thanks for everything, but I might not be back. So just not being able to, you just kind of leave, and that's one big thing that sucked to do. But yeah, it's emotional, for sure. It's emotional, and but I wouldn't change anything for the world. I really wouldn't.
What was the perspective like with like Blake coming in, just like in the middle of the like, well, beginning of the season? What was that like for you? And then you knew him then beforehand?
Yeah. So yeah, Blake was friends with my brother when they were playing minor hockey, and I was like the little brother running around with that 4-year age gap. You couldn't really bond with the older guys. They just kind of picked on me. I was a little brother, but and then he played high school hockey with my brother, and then their whole friend group. We have everyone who's engaged now, and they're starting to have families. They're a huge tight knit friend group, and I was there for when Blake. I was supporting him when he went on his season with Claire and Tasha, and going back to like our first conversation when the guys were saying anyone could do this, like if anyone could do the show it'd be Brendan, but like they were like Brendan and Blake, like you guys you're the only single guys, you should apply for the show. So that's why we kind of got into the sort of like even closer part of the whole Bachelor Nation thing. But I didn't know he was showing up. I was with him a couple weeks beforehand, fishing with him, and he was just giving me advice saying be yourself. There'll be long nights, but just like be yourself and do all that. But when he walked in, it was I connected the dots when Tasha addressed us. I started getting a feeling that it was him. So I was starting to like panic because I was like excited to see him. Like when he walked in, I wanted to just give him a big hug, but then I was like, whoa, this is weird. What the hell's going on? But also I felt the need to protect him because I knew that's so nerve-wracking coming into seeing all these guys staring at you. And so I felt like I needed to protect Blake and just have his back, but at the same time, protect the guys in the house, because you don't want to be on, 3 weeks in, you're still trying to get very close with some of the guys. So you want to be on a level playing field with them. So I just told the guy straight up, like, and it's the truth, before I was even casted for the show, Blake would always talk about Katie, and he was very interested, and he was there for the right reasons. And as much as, people give him slack for showing up with me being there, and even the guys in the house weren't happy with him at some moments. Like, why would you do this to your friend? But he was always interested in Katie, before I even got that call to go to New Mexico. So it was a crazy thing. Like, I was so happy to see him there. It was weird, like it was for a little bit, but like it was so nice to have, someone who I knew from back home there.
Yeah, and like we said, just he gets grilled just like online, just people like just Bachelor Nation. How do you feel that he did like Tasha beforehand too, and then he like Claire too, like, and then just coming to Katie? I know you say he did like Katie, of course, but I'm saying even his sister said it now at the hometowns, like she said that, like, okay, you liked 2 other people before, and now the third. So do you feel like like the love for Katie is like genuine at this point?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's there's no doubt I see their connection when I watch the show. Like they're definitely, even when he first came, like even when he came in and Katie gave Blake that one-on-one, like the guys were actually like not too shocked by it, because if a guy's coming in late, like you have to know if this guy, like if there's a connection right off the bat. They're 3 weeks in. So just watching back, I saw their connection right off the bat. So yeah, he was definitely all in on Katie, from the start. But looking back, his season was so different. Everyone always says like, the 3 bachelorettes, but I don't count Claire as being there really. Like that was kind of a weird season. So I think with Blake's scenario, when they dealt with the pandemic, they postponed the season a little bit. So he had about 3 months knowing he's on the show to really get to know Claire, like research her and get to know everything about her. So you want to be all in on that person, because you're going to be with that person in a few months. And it gives you tunnel vision when you go through this experience. Obviously when Tasha showed up, I would say you have to change your whole demeanor and say, clean slate, let me get to know this girl. Because
Yeah.
I can go to a bar and have a drink with you know, a beautiful woman. And if the energy is good, I'm going to be like, I like this person. Like, I see potential here. You know what I mean? So it is very easy to really just focus in. I don't think, you know, Blake wasn't in love with any of them, but you do have to adjust to the scenario, what, you know, with whatever Bachelor Nation throws at you. And we get curveballs, you know, everything was great for us. And then Tayshia's like, your journeys are going to change.
Yeah.
Blake shows
Yeah.
up. So we have to adjust to little things like that. So yeah, he gets a lot of slack online with that, but I truthfully just think if you want this experience to work and you want to get the full potential, you have to be very optimistic, very open-minded, and going with an open heart, regardless of what's thrown at you. You have to do that.
Yeah.
Or else it's because it is so different than normal life, and with no distractions, you can really get there with someone much quicker than in the normal world. So,
and then if you could see one person as like the Bachelor, like, because I feel like Andrew was kind of a top pick, Michael was like a top pick, who would you see as kind of the Bachelor from your season of guys? Or did you see also Katie have like a strong connection with anybody in particular being in the house? Like anybody that you really saw that connection with?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say I know there's a lot of things going around with Andrew S and Michael A, and I think they're both incredible guys. Obviously, if we're just judging from my season, yeah, but both of those guys would be amazing. You know, with Michael A, his son James, and you know just how his story is, it's absolutely incredible. He's such a class act. He's such a great guy. Him being the oldest guy in the house, and him being a single dad, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, what my dad and I shared growing up. And I cried with Michael A, and I'm just like, man, like you remind me of my dad so much, and how close you are with his son, because my dad and I are just best friends. And so I just want happiness, and I want Michael to find love. Like, you know, I think the whole world wants him to find somebody. And you know, and then talking about Andrew S, you know, class act, just a great guy. He's so lovable. He's so funny. He's very vulnerable, and he has a huge heart. And I think people just gravitate towards his personality, his smile, his laugh. We all do. But I think those two guys would be great. I think, you know, whoever gets a shot at that, they're going to do great. And we all support the guys, right? And we just want them to find love. We want everyone to find love, but those two guys especially too, right?
Of course. And they're nice people. I feel like all of these guys are just like nice people, including like everybody's such nice guys.
Best guys, like the best guys in the world. Like it makes me smile because they're so awesome. They're so good.
You know more than anybody. So that's why it's like, you know how everybody acts. So that's so cool. And then last question, did you ever feel intimidated by all the guys, being that they're great guys in the beginning, that like, you know, everyone's vying for like Katie's heart? Like, did you ever find that like kind of intimidating?
Not like moving forward through, like the only time I was intimidated was, I would say, night one. Like when you walk in, so like you meet Katie, you're walking up towards the house, and you're just, you actually forget there's cameras. Like you forget, you just don't, I didn't want to trip. I was like, I'm walking up here. I got lost actually. People were like, turn left. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this is brutal. First night, brutal. So I walk in, and there's already, I was probably one of the third last limos to show up. So there was probably around already 17 to 20 guys there, I would say.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And everyone just kind of turns and looks at you, and you walk in, and you're like, hey boys, how are you? And like, they're like, what do you want to drink? Like, here's your drink. And you just meet everyone, and everyone's like, you know, I'm usually like, I'm a tall guy, I'm a big guy. So when I walk into a room with like all these tall, big guys, and like dressed amazingly, good looking guys, firm handshake, just like real class act guys, I'm just like, this is going to be tough. Like, this is going to be, not so much like on your ego. It's more so like it's a competition for a woman's heart. And you just want to know what Katie looks for, because you know, I know Katie's a woman. She's just like, she doesn't really even have a type either. She's just like, whoever just makes me happy, and like whoever I feel it with, that's it, right? So that's what you start to learn. But early on, you're like, what's her type? You know, there's so many good looking guys here. Everyone's awesome. You're nervous for sure. You're nervous, no doubt. But no, I think night one's the only time. And then once you really get to know each other, and you become like family, you're all just one group, and you don't even look at that anymore. You know, like you want everyone to just be happy, and you're not. It was never like a battle for anybody there. It was just so cool, and like, I look back, I feel like I can write a book on every single guy there and just the experience, because it's like they're the coolest guys ever. So
That's awesome, because think of your life before meeting these guys, and like now it's like,
I know.
wow, what life it's given you, like, and them as well.
That's for sure, and just connections, and like everyone's part of my family, and anyone who wants to visit me, I'm like, I'll FaceTime these guys with my dad. My dad starts meeting them. I
Oh
meet these guys'
wow.
grandparents. Like it's such a chain reaction, right? So it's such a cool thing. But yeah, I'm so grateful for the experience that ABC's given me, and I'm lucky. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, it's kind of sad when all the guys go home like one by one, because it's like you guys were such a vibe, and it's like I don't want it to end. Like no, what no? You guys were
Yeah,
so
lots
great.
of lots of tears, like lots of tears that the world didn't see when guys left. But it's a real thing, especially for me, because of me being a Canadian. I knew these guys in the States would see each other. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
they can connect much easier, but like for me, especially with the whole border restrictions too and the quarantine, I'm just like, I'm not going to see these guys for a little bit. And that's what even hurt even more. It was kind of like a
Yeah.
dagger, right? So I was like, it's gonna suck. So thank gosh for FaceTime. Thank
Yes,
gosh.
I agree with that. That's good. That's good, at least.
I
And I just
know.
like how
I know.
like everybody, like we said, meets your dad and the grandparent. Like that's awesome. I love that.
It's a crazy dysfunctional family, but it's all good. Like Bachelor Nation, it's the coolest thing, and I think we're all grateful for it, and we're never gonna forget this. That's the thing. Like we will take this with us for the rest of our lives. So
Oh no, and you impacted us as viewers as well. You guys should know that 100% too. It's like this is a
uh,
season we won't
you,
forget. So it's
this
awesome.
is we'll never. I don't think anyone can forget this season at
No,
all. So
no,
which is
no.
which is great for us.
And
Yeah.
exactly like we said, especially in these quarantine, like hard, like pandemic times, it's like it just brings a light to everybody's lives, and just like good
Yes.
vibes and smiles, and it's just such
Good.
a good thing. I'm
But and
grateful for it.
tears. Good vibes,
And tears.
smiles, drama, and tears. Like you need it all, but you
It's
can't
like,
get happiness without tears, right? You
that's
need to
true.
be kind of sad and
But it's a
stressed
whole
out a bit to
experience. It's like we're living it too. It's an experience. That's what it's all
yeah.
about.
I know. I'm
So I
glad you
can't wait.
loved it though. I'm glad.
Yes, absolutely. Like we said, you can tell from my smile. I'm just like smiling ear to ear. It's
Yeah,
amazing. I can't wait
that's
to see what
amazing.
happens with Katie too. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with you as well. Is there anything else that you
Thank
want
you.
to tell Bachelor Nation that we're wrapping this up? Anything else you just want to say
Um,
or add in, like what's coming up for you? You said everything, but
yeah,
yeah.
no, love you, Bachelor Nation, and we, not myself, but all the guys, we appreciate the fans, and we appreciate the love and support, and especially for me. So, I love you guys. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Peace out,
thank
Canada.
you so much. Yeah, thanks so
I hope.
much. I appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.